Welcome back, Go Gunners family. Arsenal's January transfer plans. Arsenal may look to strike further deals in the January transfer window, with Mikel Arteta's side chasing the Premier League and Champions League this season. Gabriel Martinelli could depart Arsenal, with the Gunners one of many sides interested in Bournemouth winger Antoine Semenyo. Semenyo has a £65 million release clause in his contract, with Liverpool also a leading contender amid the expected departure of Mohamed Salah. Arsenal to finally cash in on Gabriel Martinelli as transfer race heats up ahead of January. Gabriel Martinelli may soon have played his final game in an Arsenal shirt as Mikel Arteta gears up for the January transfer window. Andrea Berta is now in charge of transfers at the Emirates Stadium, having previously helped Atletico Madrid to sign the likes of Julian Alvarez, Antoine Griezmann, and Jan Oblak. While Victor Gyökeres has yet to impress for Arsenal, the sporting director's impact has already been greatly felt in North London, and that could be about to continue. Supporters will not be expecting a busy transfer window next month, but if the Gunners are to secure the Premier League title, one or two signings might be crucial in the second half of the season. Gabriel Martinelli is fighting against injuries this season. Arsenal narrowly beat Wolves 2-1 recently, highlighting some of their biggest weaknesses within the squad, and it is highly likely that Arteta would want to address those, especially in the final third. Although Martinelli has popped up with some key moments this term, notching 6 goals and 1 assist in 18 games, he has very rarely been in the starting lineup, with injuries proving a problem. The Brazilian had been heavily linked with an exit during the summer months, and those rumors could crop up again as Arteta looks to strengthen on that side of the front three. A massive transfer race appears to be brewing as Antoine Semenyo continues to thrive at Bournemouth, with the player's release clause currently set at £65 million. Antoine Semenyo could end Martinelli's Arsenal career. And according to TalkSport, 16 December, while Arsenal are in the race for Semenyo's signature, a move would only likely be made if any of their current players are moved on. Given Martinelli's recent links with a departure, mixed with his frustrating injury setbacks this season, it could make a lot of sense for the club to cash in and move for the winger at the Vitality Stadium. Semenyo already has 10 goal contributions for the Cherries this term, having notched 13 goals and 6 assists last season, and it would be incredible to see him thrive at a Big Six club. It is understood that the left wing spot needs to be improved on at the Emirates, so the Gunners may have to act sooner than anticipated if they are to secure their favorite target. Every Arsenal game that Ben White is expected to miss after new injury update. Arsenal are expected to be without Ben White for at least a month after he suffered a hamstring injury in Saturday's win over Wolves. A last-minute own goal saw Arsenal beat Wolves 2-1 at the Emirates Stadium after what was a dismal display. The Gunners failed to create much of anything going forward, testing Sam Johnston only once before the ball spilled in off his back for the opener. Declan Rice was left furious by Arsenal's performance against Brentford, with the squad accepting after the game that their standards had fallen dramatically. And in another blow, White was forced off injured in the first half, pulling up and feeling his hamstring after a sprint towards his own goal. Ben White set for extended injury layoff. White looked back to his best against Brentford at the start of the month, constantly providing an option for Nani Madueke and finding an assist for Michael Merino. The Englishman's form had come at a good time too, with Christian Mosquera suffering an ankle injury in the same game, and Gabriel and William Saliba already ruled out. The latter made his return against Wolves, but the former two are not expected to be available for another few weeks yet. And they will now be joined by White after Tuesday's update on the defender's injury. Fabrizio Romano reports that the 28-year-old will be absent for at least a month with his hamstring issue, with Arsenal hoping to have the defender back by mid-January. For the time being, that leaves Mikel Arteta with just Piero Hincapié, Ricardo Calafiori, Jurrien Timber, Miles Lewis-Skelly, and William Saliba to cover 4 positions. Midfielder Christian Norgard appeared in central defense against Club Brugge last week and could be considered as an alternative, with 16-year-old Marley Salmon likely to be protected. What games will White miss? White's injury cannot have come at a worse time. Arsenal are set for a bustling Christmas period in which their title credentials will be put to the test. A trip to Everton will come first, before 3 matches at the Emirates Stadium. The Gunners will hope to progress past Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup quarter-final before taking on Brighton and Aston Villa. In January, Arsenal will travel to Bournemouth before returning home for a clash with Premier League champions Liverpool. White will surely be unavailable for an away trip to Portsmouth in the FA Cup, with his first realistic chance of a return coming away against Nottingham Forest. The defender will certainly hope to have returned by the time Arsenal hosts Manchester United towards the end of January. Arsenal have moved quickly to agree deal with $17 billion company. Arsenal should be praised for how quickly they have managed to agree a new sponsor and at the end of Visit Rwanda's 7-year partnership. That is according to ex-Everton, Aston Villa, and Aberdeen chief executive Keith Winnis, speaking exclusively to Football Insider after Arsenal terminated their deal with Visit Rwanda.
Arsenal supporters have protested against Visit Rwanda's sponsorship, with their branding appearing on the club's shirt sleeves. HR platform Deal have agreed to sponsor Arsenal from the 2026-27 season, marking their first venture into the world of sport. Arsenal confirmed great deal. Everton's former Keith Winnis, who served as CEO at Goodison Park between 2004 and 2009, and now runs a football consultancy advising elite clubs, thinks Arsenal still benefited from their partnership with Visit Rwanda despite fan unrest. Speaking on the new edition of Football Insider's Insider Track podcast, Winnis believes the commercial team should be praised for swiftly agreeing a new deal. He told Football Insider's Insider Track podcast, "Well, I had a look at Deal, not a name that I knew very readily, but they're actually valued about a stock market valuation of about 17 billion, so they're a reasonably sized company, and they can afford sort of decent sponsorships. Look, Arsenal have moved quickly. They've managed to replace Visit Rwanda. I know that was starting to cause some unrest amongst the fan base, although overall I think they should respect it as being a very good long-term sponsor that Arsenal have had a great benefit from, and it's helped Arsenal in its international expansion into Africa as well. Look, both parties have done well out of the deal. Deal looks to be a very good, credible company coming in. Look, I think it's a great deal for everybody. I think it'll be almost like for like in terms of the valuation, so Arsenal have done well to move quickly and get a replacement done, so well done for the commercial team there. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share.